Hello everyone, I'm Emily. And I'm Hannah. And we are the hosts of the I Don't Think So podcast. Each episode we discuss a different story, theory, or mystery, and decide if we think it's believable or if we really don't think so. Here at the I Don't Think So podcast, we are affiliated with Flurry Sports, and we present our theories on your favorite places to listen to podcasts every Wednesday. If you like what you hear, give us a rating or leave us a comment, and follow us on our socials at I Don't Think So _EH. Or check out our YouTube channel at IDTS Conspiracies.
Heck yeah. So, we're nearing the end of October already.
I know, we've got this week and next week.
He's nuts. So,
October's flying.
oh, I watched Scooby-Doo, like the live action
I
one.
love that movie.
Because I was like, oh, this feels right.
Mm.
This feels good. And it was great. I was like, I obviously back in the day didn't get it, but like there's so many pot references for Shaggy and Scooby.
I feel like I watched it as a high schooler and didn't get like a lot of them.
But then I watched it now and I was like, oh,
This is funny.
I was like, we're just riding the fact that these two are straight stoners.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was super. I was like, in the land of it was so good. And now I have to watch the second one.
Oh, good.
I love the second one.
Is it as scary as I remember it being?
It's creepy for sure.
Okay, because I
There's a
remember
lot
it
of-
being like the Spooky Island stuff being kind of scary.
Yeah, like the monsters.
Yeah,
Spooky.
that's what I'm saying.
I was like,
This is a kids movie.
you really kind of did not care.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it's like all about, Scrappy just wanting power. I'm like, this is a big,
These are big topics for children.
a big arc. And that sometimes monsters are just monsters. And I'm like, whoa.
Deep.
But Hannah, this week we talked about an island in Italy. We talked about
The inn in England.
England. I was like, I'm blanking on where it was. I remember it was an inn, but now I'm like, the pub, the inn, the seminary, all of it.
The all falls underneath it. Mm-hmm.
Umbrella term.
Yep, in England. It was like Gloucestershire. Awful name.
Awful. Sorry, England. But I wanted to bring it back home.
Love that.
And by home, I mean Wisconsin.
Oh, even better.
And when I was Googling, like, most haunted places in Wisconsin, there's quite a few.
Yeah, Wisconsin's got some demons. I'm just
Wisconsin's not doing that well. But when I was really researching, a lot of them, their stories aren't very long.
Sure.
So I wanted to do a little bit of a countdown for you today.
Ooh.
And give you a little brief background about the 10 most haunted places in Wisconsin.
A spooky road trip, if you will.
Spooky Wisconsin road trip.
I like it.
And hopefully I can pronounce all the town names because I'm from here and not like...
I always love when people not from Wisconsin try to pronounce it, and I'm like, I know it, and you don't.
I know, they're like, they throw up a Conomowoc on the screen and I'm like, come on!
This is simple.
Sound it out!
Yeah, that one for sure you can
A
sound out.
Conomowoc you can sound out. Like Waukesha, I get. There's like a weird oh noise.
Or like Eau Claire, people get confused because of the
Claire.
Eau Claire, I get. Ugh. Makes me want to vomit.
Claire. Like, no!
What? I don't understand Eau Claire.
No. Or like Lac Flambeau, I hear people mispronounce. I'm like, if you know any French,
Mhm.
that was just a French term.
Yeah.
But anywhoosies.
Continue.
So we're going to start off with our number one spot is Summerwind in Land O'Lakes.
Oh, okay.
This is the state's most haunted site, and it's in the far northern reaches of Wisconsin. Summerwind Mansion was built as a fishing lodge in the early 1900s and remodeled in 1916 by Robert Lamont,
Mm-hmm.
who would go on to be the U.S. Secretary of Commerce under Herbert Hoover.
I think we talked about that before.
Have we?
Yeah, I think I talked about it.
Nice!
That one was creepy though.
The house appears to have been haunted from the start, but the Lamonts disregarded the whispers among the waitstaff of strange noises and events. Then one night, Lamont fired 2 shots at what he thought was an intruder, only to discover that there was no one there.
Ooh, spooky.
I'm not a gun owner. So we'll start there. But like, I'm telling you, if I fire a gun twice and there's nothing there, I'm checking myself in.
Well, and I think that it's bold to like shoot at something that you don't know is there.
Correct.
Like, what if you're shooting at your dog or like
Your neighbor.
yeah, and you're like, oops.
Ah, my bad, Fido. You know.
But at the same time, if I think I've been like haunted for the last how long?
Yeah.
Maybe I'd get there.
But he also had like serving staff, and
So you're gonna make them go shoot him?
I'm like, what is one of them? Like,
Oh, sure. I get what you're saying. I thought you meant they can go deal with
they can go shoot the ghost. But the Lamonts abruptly would leave the house and all of their belongings that night and never return.
Honestly, that's the most
Real.
That's the most practical answer right there.
Especially if you've got the money to just pick up and move.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right here, right now, if I shoot at something and then it's not there, either I'm checking myself in somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm packing my shit and I'm never coming back.
Yeah, I agree.
The house would have numerous owners over the ensuing years, including Arnold and Ginger Hinshaw, who bought Summerwind in the early 1970s. For 6 months, the couple and their 4 children endured all manner of psychic phenomenon, including fleeting shadows, whispering voices, random pockets of chilled air, and objects that moved on their own. While they were living there, Arnold had a nervous breakdown and Ginger would attempt suicide.
Jeez.
Their story would be documented in a 2005 Discovery Channel episode of A Haunting. Although the structure was almost completely destroyed by a fire in 1988, the paranormal activity still continues. Some claim that the place is a sort of beacon that inexplicably attracts supernatural beings and events. Visitors have often told of a strong sense of someone or something hovering around them. Orbs and floating mists show up later in photos taken at the site, and audio recorders pick up voices and sounds not heard by the human ear. With so much paranormal activity, it's no wonder why the Lamonts just packed and left.
Yeah, I would pack and leave too.
No kidding. The next haunted site is Nelson's Hall on Washington Island. So Nelson's Pub is steeped in history and tradition thanks to the former owner, Tom Nelson. He was a deeply devoted to bitters. He loved the bitters.
Like you put in a drink?
Yeah. Which he would drink daily until his death when he was 90 years old.
Ew.
He
Like
managed.
just straight bitters?
Yeah, I think he probably mixed it with like Sprite or something, but
Ugh. That's the worst part of a drink. I will specifically I don't like old fashions specifically because of the bitters.
oh, I love it old fashioned.
Ugh. Gross.
Nelson
He
managed.
deserves to be haunted.
Come on.
Sorry, that was a bold statement.
He managed to keep his bar open during Prohibition by getting a pharmacy license and selling his spirits as medicine.
That's
the most
move.
Wisconsin thing I've ever
Yeah.
heard. Drink for meds.
Helps you sleep. Helps you be less depressed.
Oh, we're really helping you out.
Mhm. Helps anxiety.
It calms you down. It hypes you up. It does it all.
Mm-hmm.
He loved his pub, and it's said that he refused to leave the place even after 100 years later after his death. Nelson lived and died in the apartment above the bar, where phantom footsteps have been heard on the stairs. The ghost often acts in kind of mischievous ways, including appearing in front of unsuspecting women, using the restroom, and changing the radio station so he can still enjoy his favorite music. So Nelson was a creep.
I was waiting for him to be like, because the bitters just go missing.
It's crazy. It's like someone's just drinking our bitters. The third place is Mary of Elk Lake Dam.
Oh, I remember.
Do we know
This is
Mary?
episode 2, I think.
Yeah. Good old Mary. If you really want to, Hannah did a deep dive on good old Mary from
Mhm.
Elk Lake. Real close to here, believe it or not.
Literally around the corner from where we're recording the pod right now.
Mary! Please stay there.
Oh, yeah, don't come.
Like many ghost stories, this one rooted in a tragedy. In 1974, the body of young Mary Shilas was found in the rural Elk Lake area. At the time, police believed the victim had been hitchhiking from Minneapolis to Chicago, where she was picked up by her killer. A man had been seen pushing a body out of the car, but that led to nowhere, and the case still remains open and cold to this day. The lack of resolution may explain why Mary's restless spirit has continued to stay on the scene. Paranormal activity in the area includes fleeting and disappearing shapes and shadows, mysterious floating lights, noises, and apparitions. One local elderly woman reported daily visits from Mary, while two fishermen claimed they had a frightening encounter. They were fishing on the dam when one said to the other, "There's a glowing white woman behind us." "I know," said the other man, "but I'm not turning around."
That's me.
Also correct. That is an Elk Lake person for sure. That's I don't want to talk about it.
Mm-mm. I'm aware there's a ghost. We're gonna pretend nothing is
What about
happening.
just keep fishing?
Mm-hmm.
Goodness me. The fourth place is Riverside Cemetery in Appleton, Wisconsin. Discreetly set apart from the main grave sites at Riverside Cemetery is the final resting place of Kate Blood.
What a last name.
I know. Rumors have long swirled around this woman with the fateful last name. According to various sources, she was a witch, a child killer, an adulteress, and a murder victim at the hands of her husband.
Oh.
Although the details of her life or fate are unknown, her gravesite has become a hotbed of paranormal activity. Many visitors have reported an eerie chill, and some have seen a dark, hooded figure that vanishes into thin air. Even more spine-chilling are the stories of blood oozing from her headstone.
Ooh.
Which, yuck!
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Also, well, sometimes you can't help your last name.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of crappy. What if
Also,
she was
is
just a
she
woman?
married into that last name?
I think so.
That sucks.
That really sucks. She was like, "Oh, I fell in love, and my last name would be Blood," and everyone's like, "Witch."
There's definitely a few times where I've thought of people of like, maybe I thought you were cute, but I am not having that last name forever.
Mm.
That's your red flag. I'm sorry.
Your red flag is that last name.
Mm-hmm.
That last name will haunt me
Yeah,
all my days.
Mm-hmm. Especially knowing I was going into the career field of being a teacher and someone calling me Miss whatever for the rest of my life.
Like if they had the last name like Butte, but it looked like Butt.
Yeah, no.
It's like Mrs. Butt,
Mrs. Poopy Pants,
Miss Booty.
Yeah,
That would make me violent.
my mom said she had a teacher named Mr. Hickey
Ooh.
in middle school,
Ooh.
and I'm like, you did that to yourself. Not
That was your
only
fault.
you could go by something else. Number one. Number two, you teach middle school.
Yeah, teacher elementary. They don't know what that is.
No. I don't know.
High school would do that too.
Yeah.
Number 5, Brumder Mansion in Milwaukee.
Oh.
So since 1910, the 8,000 square foot Brumder Mansion has gone through numerous incarnations. Once operated as a boarding house and later as a coffee house and parsonage. There's no evidence of paranormal activity here until renovations began in the late 1990s to restore the home to its original state.
Okay.
Today, the mansion is a B&B, providing lavish accommodations for both the living and the dead.
That just seems like an ad.
And here's where you can buy tickets. George Brumder's sister was said to be so fond of the house that she never left. Her presence has been felt in her old room, now called the Gold Suite.
Oh.
She is said to have shown her displeasure with changes in the decor, or she doesn't like animals apparently either. So like every time you bring an animal, she's like pissed. Up to about 3 other spirits are also thought to inhabit the mansion.
Dang.
So that's a pretty recent one. I mean, not that it was built recently, but like they started doing renos and 25 years ago. Blech.
Recent.
So young, so youthful.
Yikes.
The other day. Oh. Number 6, the Phantom Man of Highway 12 in Baraboo.
Oh, I was like, where Highway 12?
Baraboo.
Does that all connect then?
It's the same Highway 12 that's right over here.
How does that work?
It's just a road. I don't know. Okay. It's like how interstates work. It just stays the same.
Okay, continue. Sorry. I didn't mean to question you.
I don't know. Highway Highway 12 between Baraboo and the Dells is brimming with water parks, oversized animals, and a slew of other bizarre roadside attractions. But the road's strangest attraction is the Phantom Hitchhiker.
Oh.
Witnesses have described a man standing on the side of the road wearing a tattered gray army jacket. Drivers will pass the hitchhiker only to see him appear again later on down the road.
That's creepy.
We aren't sure who he is because no one has had the nerve to actually stop and pick him up.
Oh, no.
Never! I'm not picking up a hitchhiker,
No.
even if they look real.
Well, and that's the thing. No. I'm not going to stop, ask nothing.
Can you imagine though, you're driving
No.
and you're like, oh, someone's hitchhiking. And then like 2 miles later, you see the same fucking person.
That
I'd
is
be like,
scary. Isn't there like a clown museum? Maybe they're trying to get there.
They're like, I just want to take it to my museum. Nope. Number 7, the Bloody Bride Bridge in Stevens Point. Triple
Oh.
B, if you will.
Bloody Bride Bridge.
Yeah, I know. That's a tongue twister if you say it too many times.
Yeah.
This story has all the elements of the classic ghost story: a bloody bride, a terrifying being that appears in a mirror, and a corroborating authority figure. So according to the lore, many years ago, a young woman was killed on her wedding night in a car accident on the Highway 66 bridge.
Sad.
Since then, there have been reports of a woman wearing a bloody wedding dress standing on the bridge and sitting in the back seat of passing cars, visible to the driver in the rear view mirror.
That to me is my worst nightmare.
I'm crashing!
There's moments where I'm driving at night and I will purposely not look in my rearview mirror because I couldn't handle it.
No, I don't want to know.
No.
Kill me then.
Yeah,
You know?
at that point, no.
On that same bridge, a police officer reportedly hit a woman and then saw nothing when he ran back to help her.
Yikes.
To be fair, officially the Stevens Point Police Department has no record of a woman dying on her wedding night. And they are like, no officer for sure has seen a ghost. And I'm like, would you rather your officer hit someone?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's not good. That's not the better answer.
I'm like, just say it was the ghost.
Yeah.
Because otherwise your officer hit someone. And then they disappeared and he went, ah.
Must have been the ghost. Bloody Bride.
That was the bride. Number 8, the Bodega Brew Pub in La Crosse.
Where do we have a bodega?
In La Crosse.
it's
It's a bar. On Third.
like,
The bodega. No, it's definitely still called bodegas. Well, I don't know if it changed in the last couple of years.
okay. This is not like an actual bodega.
No, it's a bar.
Well, that's why I was like, where do we have a bodega in Wisconsin?
You're like, ooh, take me to the bodega.
Mhm.
But since the early 1900s, this bar has been serving up all sorts of spirits. When the pool hall owner Paul Malin died on the premises in 1901, he wasted no time in getting down to his ghoulish business.
Ooh.
The establishment changed hands several times over the next decade, as Malin was credited as the source of unexplained noises, apparitions, and other phenomena. The pub hosts ghostly goings-on to this day, and numerous patrons, have reported feeling a tap on the shoulder, only to find no one there when they turn around. Ah, classic joke.
Spooky.
Bartenders have seen ghostly apparitions float throughout the bar, and customers have noticed a mysterious chill in different spots. The building's basement is a especially spooky spot where bricks and other stored materials have stacked themselves, and the clinking sound of high heels can be heard pacing in the empty room.
Ooh.
Nice bar. They've got like bottles lined up all in the window, like old like Shiner's bottles, and
Did you feel spooked when you were in there?
no, I was drunk. I felt nothing.
There you go.
Plainfield Cemetery in Plainfield. This is number 9. In a morbid twist of fate, Ed Gein is buried in the same cemetery where in the 1950s he would dig up the bodies of women
Great robber.
who reminded him of his dead mom.
Yeah, no.
Ed, not well. Also, why did we bury him there? I
Well,
get it.
how many cemeteries are in Plainville?
Where does he get buried? No, most of them they just like ship him into the ocean.
What do you mean?
Like I don't know. I remember like when he's now somewhat been modern, but like
like he was in like a psychiatric facility until his death. Were they supposed to then bring him to an ocean and then ship him away?
Yeah. Because like, isn't that the whole thing? Where like we don't want to make like a shrine out of these people, so we don't bury them. We like cremate them and spread their ashes.
Maybe, I don't know.
Apparently not when Eddie died. Any goosies. Go ahead. By the time he was arrested in 1957,
I feel like normally it's like just an unmarked grave.
that's probably good. I don't know. Should be video.
No.
Geen had also killed at least 2 women. Most of the body parts that were found in Geen's farmhouse could not be identified and were never returned to their graves.
Sure. Yeah.
Because just too many.
Yeah.
Not only is this location creepy because of what happened there and the fact that Geen is also buried there, there are also claims that the place is haunted. The restless soul of one of the victims is said to roam the cemetery late at night.
Yeah, I would too.
Just took my arm. I'm roaming.
It's gross. Yeah.
I don't know how people get into grave robbing.
I mean, he's obviously had some.
He was not well
Mm-mm.
mentally.
No.
But like, yeesh. My man. And number 10, the Siren Bridge in Siren, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So this much is true. A young family was heading home on County Highway B when their car crashed through the guardrail and landed upside down in the swampy waters below.
Oof.
A father, mother, and their young daughter were trapped inside the vehicle and all unfortunately did drown. Although gone, the family is not forgotten. A number of motorists who have passed by that spot have reported hearing the voice of a young girl crying through their radio saying, "Mommy, help me, I can't get out."
Oh.
And that's it.
Ooh, what a spooky road trip around Wisconsin.
Look at all the places you can go. I mean, sometimes I'm a little like, me, because they're like, oh, cemeteries are haunted. Yeah! Who was shocked? I don't feel like there's a cemetery out there that isn't haunted. It's literally all dead people.
Right, yeah. Yeah, no. I don't know how you could, I think like a lot of places just in general, there's like just spooky auras on them.
Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we played Ghost in the Graveyard a lot as children.
Mm-hmm.
Never in 1,000 years could I do it in a cemetery. I don't want to be near a cemetery at night, let alone like be trying to see things.
I don't even like to go to a cemetery by myself.
No! I did go recently to drop off flowers at our grandparents' grave,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, boom, and I like ran out.
And I always feel bad because I'm like,
I
I
know.
don't want to make it a quick trip, but like,
I'm uncomfortable.
I feel spooked easily.
Yeah, I'm like, the wind blows wrong, and I'm like,
I've very openly said, the dark, I'm terrified, I'm running.
I just am like, and of course that cemetery is like half of the people I knew,
Mm-hmm.
not half, but a chunk.
You're a good chunk.
So I'm like, if it's somebody, it's probably like Paul Schumacher coming to say hi. And I'm over here like,
Leave me alone.
darting to my car.
Uh-huh.
His wife told me I have good birthing hips,
There you go.
you know? But I'm like, I don't want anything to do with any of this. It makes me uncomfortable. It creeps me out. But yeah, so if you ever want to go to any of these places in Wisconsin, you know, let us know. I've been to Elk Lake now. If you remember episode 2, I was like, where's Elk Lake?
Yeah, I was like, you know, it's like, and you're like,
No.
no.
No, why? Tell me more.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
goodness me, that was a good time.
I just drove past Elk Lake this weekend.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the dam is.
Really?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to make a trip out there.
I don't want to see Mary. You know?
We'll go in daylight.
Okay. I'll be that fisherman that's like, there's a glowing woman behind us. I know. I'm not turning around.
I'm not turning around. Anywho, we'll have one more week of spooky stories next week. But if you have any suggestions moving forward of what themes you'd like us to cover, definitely let us know. Otherwise, check out our socials at I don't think so _EH
I do
or
have a ghost
oh, I'm
story
so sorry.
too. You want
I'm
me to read it?
ending it for
We could end.
no. This is a good pause. Go back.
I just wanted to end it on a quick ghost story that I found on the old Reddit.
Love that.
And this is ghost stories from the corporate world. So this comes from u/no_occasion_1997.
Mm-hmm.
And they state that being the logical corporate world, there's hardly any space for ghost stories and theories. However, this one I can't ignore. I, 27 male, work as an operations manager for a multi-service company. I work on the 17th floor of a massive high-rise office building in the middle of town. Most days I waste away with my spreadsheets and inventory passing the day in front of my computer. Other days I actually visit my sites and talk to my staff. The building I'm in has staff of mine in it, but only 4 of them, so I rarely see them as they are generally on other floors hard at work. Only after 2 weeks of being with the company did I realize that 3 floors of the building have no tenants, just 800 square meters of empty dark rooms with thin walls and dark blue carpets. Each floor has 3 bathrooms, male, female, and they call it paraplegic, but
Like a handicap. Yeah.
which we service only once a month if there are no tenants in the floors. All seemed normal until one day my elevator arrived from my office floor to the ground was unintentionally stopped on one of the empty floors. I poked my head out of the elevator thinking there was someone getting on, only to notice we had stopped on floor 14, the uninhabited floor. My body went cold as I stared into the empty hallway, noticing no one around. I crept back into the elevator and looked at the buttons to see if I accidentally pressed it. Nothing. The only floor glowing was the ground floor. Strange. I pressed the closed door button, but the elevator wouldn't close. I began to panic, stepping out of the elevator and pressing the outside button, hoping another elevator would show up. I stood quiet for a moment and watched as the elevator I had just exited started to close, and I was not quick enough to grab the doors. Ooh. There I stood alone in the dark next to the empty office and the eerie sound of the wind blowing against the building. I bolted for the fire escape stairs when I heard it. The chilling sound of a bathroom stall door closing in the female toilets. I stopped for a moment and turned to face the bathroom. The door was slightly ajar and wind was blowing through it, and I was immediately horrified. You see, the door is one of those hydraulic doors that close on its own, so someone had to be holding it open from the inside.
Ugh.
I panicked and ran out of the fire escape doors, down the stairs, all the way to the ground. In a huff, I ran to security to go back up to the floor and check out the bathroom. The security thought I had gone crazy as the floor was empty and just assumed someone from the other office had come down for more of a private bathroom break. We go to the floor and walked all around. Nobody in the women's bathroom, nobody in the men's. Who could it have been? I asked. Security said that they would check the tapes and get back to me. What really creeped me out is that all the stall doors were locked. Maintenance hasn't unlocked them since there are no tenants. A few days have passed and I completely forgot about the experience, back to my normal programming of sitting behind the desk and focusing on the logical processes of my day-to-day. A late Friday afternoon, I get a knock on my door from 3 of the security asking me to confirm my story from a couple days ago. I explained myself again and told them what I had seen, and they stared at each other in a really weird manner. I asked them what was going on, and they explained to me the following. Nobody came to the floor. The security footage didn't catch anyone on the floor, not even me.
Oh, weird.
I stood in silence. Sir, are you sure it was floor 14? I was certain of it. Each floor has a sign. They assured me they checked each floor to see where I had popped up, but nothing. Here's what gets more intense. There are tapes of me walking out of the elevator on the ground floor. Normal and mundane.
Oh.
I asked the security for footage for myself, and that's when I saw on the top right corner of the camera facing the doors and the office 14 the face of a woman.
Special
I
guest.
know she's there and she knows I exist. I have lost 17 kilograms in the last 2 months because I no longer will take the elevators.
There you go. Oh my gosh, that's spooky.
I'm telling you right now, if the elevator's open and it's just an empty fucking floor, I'm not getting off of the elevator.
No, I'm sitting there. Bang.
Anna Marie,
Yeah.
the door closed button until the door will close. I'm like cheering up because I can't imagine this would happen when I get spooked. My eyes tear up. They will. I can't imagine like the doors opening and there's just nothing.
Yeah, no.
I'd be like,
I also, would definitely not get off and try it.
I'm standing in there until it shuts.
Or I'm like getting off, getting on. I'm not like walking away enough that the doors could close on me.
No, never.
And
Ugh.
then if they're like the hydraulic doors open
Yeah, no.
and I'm hearing someone in there,
Sprinting.
I'm like, please.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Oh, well, that's a good ghost story. I like it.
But as Hannah was saying, if you like us, go ahead and like our show, give us a rating, follow us on our socials at I don't think so _EH or YouTube at IDTS Conspiracies, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.